Hi guys, it's Lori at Lore Stitches, and my crew that is with me constantly when I'm at home. Thanks for coming back to my channel. I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate all the subscriptions. It's been so exciting to see how many people have viewed the videos and the comments, and I have responded to all of them, I believe. And just thank you so much for the subscriptions. I appreciate it. My crew is sort of here. You'll see them come in and out. You might hear them yip at each other. I don't think I've ever told you before about the names of the herd of dogs that we have. We have Loki and Lila. They're actually in here, but you can't really see them. Loki is over by the... Nope. Loki! There's Loki. Lila is right here. And Willow is right here behind her. The other three... Oh, there's Loki. He's coming over now. Loki's my oldest. You can see his gray face. He's 7. Loki and Lila were parents to 4 litters of golden retrievers that we had. And when we decided that this was going to be the last one, because Lila was 4, almost 5, and we didn't want... No, she was 5. Yeah, she was 5 last year when she had her 4th litter. We only did 1 litter a year, and we decided that was it for them. We wanted them to live out the rest of their lives, just being spoiled, because really they're our babies anyway, more than they are a breeding pair. But we wanted to keep a male from the last litter to breed with Willow, but we ended up keeping a male and a female. And they are not in here, so they're probably getting in trouble. Aria, Indy! Aria, Indy! You guys need to stay with me, so I know you're not getting in trouble. Willow, stay down. This is Leia here, and Willow. They're the English creams. The rest of them are the darker reds. Anyway... We didn't intend to keep 2 from the last litter, but we did. Lila had a harder labor that time than she'd ever had before. And so we ended up at the ER vet twice, maybe 3 times. It might have been 3. I can't even remember now. Anyway, it was last May when it all happened. Hi, Willow. She'd had one right when I'd gotten home from work that day, and then she labored for 4 hours with her second one, and that's too long. And so we decided to load her up in the truck and take her to the ER. Hey! Aria, leave him alone. Loki has one favorite toy, and they get upset when he has it. Leave him alone. Good girl. Anyway, this is Aria here. So she was a little surprise baby. After we took Lila to the vet, they gave her a calcium injection, which speeds along some contractions. And we were taking her back home, and it was 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. We're in the back of the truck. It's really dark. We stopped at a drive-thru because we had come straight from work. We didn't come straight from work because we stayed for like 4 hours and she wasn't having any pushing or anything. So anyway, whatever. I was really thirsty, and so we stopped to get something to drink, and I thought, oh, wouldn't it be funny if Lila had a puppy in the side of the door, because there's those little pockets. And then we were like, ha ha, and I was like, maybe I should check. And I reached down in there, and there was a puppy in there in the sack. And that was Miss Aria. And we don't know how long she was in there for. Obviously, it hadn't been more than 5 minutes because we had literally just left the ER, put her in the truck, driven down the street, and it was like not even a block away. And we were in the drive-thru line waiting for our drink when I found her. And so I ripped open this sack, and she was pretty pale, and she was breathing maybe one breath every 20 seconds. It wasn't good. So my husband literally pulled over and I gave her mouth to snout and I was giving her CPR and I was trying to get her back and rubbing her. I was a veterinary technician before I was a nurse, so had some experience at least with that, plus previous litters with her. And I didn't think she was going to make it. And she ended up having another one in the meantime. So I had to stop with this one because this one was maybe not going to make it. But this other one that she had just had was better. So I was able to, she was so tired from pushing for so long that she didn't even open the sack up. So I had to do that, get the fluid out. You know, I had the suction, all of that stuff. Warmed that one up, got her pink, got her nursing, went back to Aria, kept going, and Barry's like, you need to get in the car, we need to go. We're not in a good part of town. We're in a parking lot, like I said, 11 o'clock at night, and somebody pulled in and was driving around the parking lot, and he's like, get in the car, we've got to go. And so we got in, and I was like bound and determined, like, we're going to do this, and I'm putting her up against Mom, and I'm rubbing her real briskly, and I keep giving her breaths, and I keep doing CPR. And then finally she started breathing a little quicker. Finally I could feel her heartbeat. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And Barry was just upset. He was like, she's dead, like, it's over. He's negative Nancy. But anyway, so we got home and I was trying to get her to latch on at that point then because they nurse right after they're born, you know, and Mom usually stimulates them with licking. So I was holding her in front of Mom and Lila was licking her and all of that. And then I was trying to get her to latch on to feed. And by the time we got her home, she had fed a little bit. And then we got all of them back inside. And my husband's like, well, you know, where is she? I'll set her aside so I can go bury her. And I'm like, no, she's fine. And he's like, wait, what? And I'm like, no, she's nursing. She's good. And he's like, I thought for sure she was gone. And so we put little colored collars around them when they're born so we can keep track of who's who. We weigh them all when they're born, all of that. And then we weigh them, you know, every so often, make sure they're gaining. And so she was little aqua girl. She had a little aqua collar. And so, of course, like, every time I would check on them, it would be her I would check on because I was afraid, you know, did she go without oxygen too long? Is something going to be wrong with her neurologically? I don't really want to adopt her out because I don't know if anything is going to be wrong with her. But also, I breathed life into you, you know, I had this bond with her. And so I could tell which one she was anytime I would go down there, and she'd come right to the front of the cage and get up and want to be held, and I'd hold her and she'd like nuzzle in right here, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love her so much. So yeah, we ended up keeping her. That's Arya's story. But yeah, like I said, we have 10 acres, we got plenty of room, they can run around and play, like, they are not, they have everything they want, so it's fine. We have the room, we have, everything that they need, so, anyway, so that's my story, totally sidetracked about my puppies. And I have 2 cats. One of them's 22, and she hardly moves off of my recliner. So you will probably never see her. You may see Sugar. He, you notice I said, because I thought he was a girl. And then right before he was going to get spayed, he rolled over in front of me, and I was like, ooh, yeah, those are balls. So he needs to be neutered. But I kept his name anyway. So, you may see him. He doesn't like strangers, but he won't know you're here watching, so he'll probably come in here at some point. But anyway, so that's my crew here. Just me, my husband, and our pets. So, that's fine. So, last time I filmed was January 29th, and I actually had to go back and watch it because it has been, what is today? January 17th? No, February 17th. I think, because it's Friday, and I think yesterday was the 16th, because I think that's what I was dating everything that I had to sign. Yeah. So, I filmed on Sunday the 29th of January. The 30th and the 31st of January, I did some training from home, so I didn't have to actually go into the office. Wednesday, February 1st, I woke up and I had right lower quadrant pain in my abdomen. And I was like, nope, no, it's not appendicitis. It's not appendicitis. You worry about that, right side. No, I don't have a fever. I'm not throwing up. It's fine. It's just kind of weird, but it's fine. And guess what? I have a student, and sorry, I have a little message here from work. I have a student today, and I've got to be in there. So I went in, and I just kept like holding my side, like, man, this is kind of weird. No fever, no throwing up. And so my student's like, hey, what's going on? And I said, I don't have appendicitis, but I woke up and I have this pain in my right lower side, and it's just kind of weird. And he's like, did you do the jump test? Do you need me to examine you? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, maybe. And I was just kind of laughing it off, whatever. And then I happened to mention to one of the other girls at work, I can't even remember who it was, one of the other providers at work, I happened to mention like, yeah, weird having this right lower quadrant pain. It's not appendicitis, but something weird is going on. Like, it's hurting. And then later in the morning, it started radiating to my back. And I was like, oh my gosh, do I have a kidney stone? I've had one once, like 12 years ago, and it was small, and I passed it within a few hours, and it was painful, but like I had gone to the ER and I'd gotten pain meds and came home, and before the day was over, the pain was gone. But like, it was getting bad, and I was just like real achy and just, oh, what is going on? And my nurse came in and she goes, go pee in a cup and let me just look. And so it looked bad. And so I showed it to the physician assistant that I work with, and she's like, we need to culture that, and I'm going to order a KUB on you. So a KUB, it stands for kidneys, ureters, bladder. And we do that imaging when we're looking at like a buildup of stool in your colon, or kidney stones can sometimes show up on that, among other things. And so I'm like, okay, well, I have some patients here, so my student's going to see him, I'm going to see him, and meanwhile, the x-ray tech's getting ready for an x-ray for me. So between patients, I go in a room and strip down and run in, get an x-ray, come back out, and then she tells me, she's like, I see a pretty big stone on your x-ray. And I'm like, really? And she goes, yeah, come here and look at it. And so we looked. It was pretty big, but it was in my kidney. Usually when stones are in your kidneys, they don't cause problems. It's when they're in your ureter on the way to the bladder that they hurt a lot more. So it's like, well, that's kind of weird. But the physician assistant, she's like, hey, I'm going to send you some pain meds. I'm going to send you some Flomax, which is something that opens up your ureters a little wider to help you pass that through. And I'm like, okay, thanks. I really appreciate it. I'll go grab those, at lunch or whatever. But all day, just real achy and whatever. And I went at lunch. I grabbed them. I didn't take the pain meds because I didn't want to take pain meds and see patients. That to me is just not appropriate. But I took the Flomax to see if it would open everything up and let me pass it quicker. So that whole day went by. Thursday morning, 1 a.m., I woke up and I could not sleep. And I was panting. I was in so much pain. It was so bad. I was on a heating pad. I took the pain medication. It didn't help. The heating pad didn't help. I feel like I did something else. I waited 3 hours in pain. I kept my husband up because I was like, I felt like I was trying to birth a baby, And finally at 4 o'clock in the morning, I said, honey, we have to go to the emergency room. I don't know what to do. Like, I started throwing up because I was hurting so bad, even though pain meds were already on board. So we went to the emergency room, 4 o'clock in the morning, and they ended up doing a CAT scan. And what he told me was the stone is too big to pass. And it kept tipping into my ureter and out. Like, it can't pass, but it was tipping in and out, and so it was causing pain. And they wanted me to go see urology because I probably would not be able to pass this kidney stone, and I would probably need to have it either surgery or lithotripsy or something. So they gave me pain meds, got it under control. He gave me even stronger pain meds to take at home. So I called into work. And stayed home that day, stayed on pain meds. Also, at the same time, my uncle passed away. Crazy, did not expect, just kind of a shocker. So then my dad is driving in from Colorado and my aunt is driving in from Florida, and they're the only two left now of their family. They were 2 of 5. The other 3 now had passed away, and they're going to stay at my house. And I have a kidney stone, and the house is not clean, and I feel like crap. But I took pain meds, and Saturday I felt, Friday I went to urology, and they said, yeah, it's not that it's tipping in and out of the ureter. Stop. It's actually in the kidney and blocking a calyx, which is part of the kidney, and it was making my kidney swell. So that's why I was having so much pain. And they're like, we're scheduling you for both lithotripsy and surgery, and we're going to see when we can get you in, and, we're going to have to do something about it because you're not going to pass this, but we want you to take an antibiotic because your urine looks terrible, and we want you to, and I said, actually, I got my culture back. It was great. Do you still want me to? And they're like, yes, we're going to cover you anyway. And take your Flomax and take your pain meds and all of that, and we're going to try to call you on Monday. So the weekend I actually felt great. I was up, I was cleaning, I was trying to get things done because my dad and my aunt were arriving Sunday, and the funeral was going to be on Tuesday, and, my work was like, what do we need to do? You called off on Thursday, and you're going to be off on Tuesday, and I said, let's just open me up on Monday morning for acutes. I have my family in town, so I will take off the latter half of the day. And then I'm going to see when my surgery is. So they called me Monday, said my surgery would be Wednesday. They opened me up for acutes. I saw 2 patients in the morning, and even though I had a heating pad at work and I had pain meds at work, I started throwing up from the pain again. It was so bad. Like, I was so shocked that Saturday and Sunday it had gone away and I was fine. And then Monday morning started again. So I was so frustrated. And we came home and I couldn't stop throwing up. And I called urology and I was like, hey, what can we do? Like, I have taken pain meds, both of them. I had taken the anti-inflammatory they gave me. I took the narcotic pain medication they gave me, and I'm still throwing up because it hurts so bad. And they're like, you have to go to the ER. We can't really do anything else for you. And I had even taken nausea medication, some Zofran, and still I was throwing up. So we went in again. I felt so bad. And I had to have multiple injections of pain medication to get it under control. And then we went home and I just took my pain meds and made sure I took it. Even woke up in the middle of the night. Like, we set alarms on our phones, my husband and I, to make sure that I took pain meds because I did not want to have to go back to the emergency room again. So Tuesday I went to my uncle's visitation, and I told my dad and my aunt, I said, I'm going to drive separate because I don't know how long I could stay. So I only stayed an hour and then came back home. And then they all left Wednesday morning, and Wednesday afternoon I had my lithotripsy is what they ended up doing. And I'm still in pain. So this Monday was the first day I was up right. And I went in and I had a full schedule and I saw patients, and it was bad. I was in a lot of pain, and I had forgotten my heating pad, but one of the nurses had a heating pad on her that slipped over the back of her chair, so she put it on my chair and set it all up for me and everything. And I went home that night and took pain meds and went to bed, and then Tuesday was a little bit better. Wednesday I remembered and scheduled them all day and was great, and then yesterday was so busy, and I had a CME at lunch, so I forgot to take the lunchtime dose of the anti-inflammatory, and then by 5 o'clock I was hurting again pretty bad. So if I just remember to take the anti-inflammatory scheduled, I haven't needed the narcotic pain medications all the time, which is good. But when I talked to the urology place, called me this week and scheduled me a follow-up for March, And I said, hey, just a question. Am I still supposed to be having this pain? They're like, yeah, when we did the lithotripsy, we break it all up into gravel, so you'll still probably have pain for 2 weeks. 2 weeks? Oh my gosh. Well, at least it's not all the time. I'm grateful. I don't even know, like, I feel like I was in a drugged out blur because I had the anti-inflammatories, the narcotic pain medications, all on board. And when I had them scheduled, like, I slept the whole time. I don't take any medications like that normally. And so they knocked me out. And thank goodness for that, because whew, that was some of the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life. So I felt like just this past week, I finally come out of this haze of everything that happened the last 2 weeks. And I didn't get much stitching done, guys. I really didn't, because I had all this other stuff going on. Ugh. But I do have a couple of things to show you. So we'll get into the WIP portion now. And that's just left over from right before everything happened. One of those, I think the dog's going to knock this out of my way, is my Game of Thrones piece. This is what it looks like. It's supposed to look like when it's finished. And I will insert a picture of what it looked like last time here. And then I was able to finish more on this eagle. Why was that needle like sticking to nothing? And now it just fell. Great. I'll find that with my foot later. So I got all the way up to here on this. I didn't have that done last time. So I really need to find, oh, thank goodness it's right here. Okay. So that's where I am with my Game of Thrones piece. And then I think I was telling you guys last time that one of the monthly prompts for that Fandom Stitching Central was doing a sal, working on a sal, and for every 100 stitches you got a point. So my Dark Queen of the Sea sal is one that I only had the 3 fishes done. Let me show you where I was last time. And then this time, I am now here. So I only had the 3 fish done before. So I started working on her dress down here and up here. I got, I think, over 600 stitches done on that part 2. So I didn't finish part 2, but my goal this year, WIP Go goal, is to finish parts 2 and 3. So at least I got a chunk of it done. Yeah. And this is the Under the Sea fabric Bewitched. This is what it's the called for fabric. And it's on a Lugana Opal. But anyway, so yeah, I did get those done. And those were both before February 1st, because that was the end of the year for the end of the month for January. So I have not stitched a single stitch since before February 1st, because not only that, my husband took off some time from work because he knew that with me having those pain meds on board, I couldn't drive places. So he had taken off work to drive me to my uncle's visitation, to drive me to my appointments. And then he ended up getting sick with like a bronchitis-y type thing. And ended up having to call in too. So, man, these messages, sorry, are still coming in from work. So yeah, it's been a crazy. And then that man, my husband, God love him, he still got me a card for Valentine's Day. I had no clue like what day it was. February 13th was the day I went back to work for the first time. Like I said, was upright for the first time. And he has off on February 13th, so I'm sure he ran out and got me a card, but it was super sweet. And man, I don't know what I did to deserve that man, but he is amazing. Also, we had rented a dumpster because we tore up all the stuff from that craft room downstairs we're working on. And since we're doing it, we yanked up all the carpet in the basement, and he did that all himself because I could not help him. So, That poor guy. He was moving furniture, like just one side at a time, and pulled all the trim up, pulled all the carpet up, got it all out to the dumpster. They just picked it up today because we only had it for 2 weeks. He has busted his butt. Gosh, I feel so lucky to have him, and now we just need to order the rest of the flooring, but I think we'll get the flooring done this weekend in my craft room, and then we'll need to get some trim and get that put up, and I've got to paint some doors down there, and then we'll have to get the ceiling stuff, so then it'll pretty much be done, so that's exciting. It's pretty quick since it's a small area, but then we'll have to lay the flooring in the big area. That'll be time consuming. I did bring two to show. I had told you last time when I was showing you guys my framed finished pieces that I had some other finished pieces that were just kind of hanging in the closet. So I did bring out some of those. I don't know why I have this little tiny. I am the queen of Halloween. I can't remember who the designer is on this. It was a little freebie. But man, this sure takes up a whole piece of fabric. I'm going to have to just cut that little piece off and use this fabric for something else because it's super cute. So that's one of them that I have finished. And then I have this poker one. This is Hinzeit. I'll get this framed and we'll put it downstairs in our bar and gaming area eventually. And then this super cute, it's really hard to see. It's a heart shape, but it's Halloween. It's really, really cute. This fabric is kind of a pale bluey color. It was called Royalty Flare. It was one of mine. And so it's hard to see the white on it in pictures, but you can definitely see it in person. It was a freebie, and I can't remember who the designer was. Then I have a Triquetra knot that I did. And one of the girls at my last job bought me a little kit for Christmas one year. It was supposed to be on Ada, but I had this piece of fabric from a dyer who's not in business anymore, and I put it on that. And then I think I showed you guys this one. This was my finish from last year, my only finish from last year. And then I have my Nora Corbett Christmas Fairy. I did not do this in the called for colors. I did this in the silks, the Vicky Clayton silks, hand-dyed fibers, just because I have a ton of those, so I wanted to use them. So I need to get this one framed. And then this is a Plum Street sampler. I think it was called Halloween Delivery, if I remember right. And this was in all the called for threads, and this is one of my fabrics too. All these are my fabrics except for that one that's from a dyer that's out of business. I think the Stab and Stash was the other one, if I remember right. Anyway, so these are my finishes that I have just hanging in my closet, waiting to be finished somehow. So I do have some haul that I had ordered prior to getting sick that came in while I was sick. I don't think I showed this one before, but I did pick up the Frogwarts Year 1. This is from the Black Needle Society, and I was able to get a couple of their boxes. I haven't received those yet. One of them was a retreat box, and one of them was a movies and magic or something like that. So that's the first time I've ever gotten a box before, so I'm excited to see what that is like. And I think I'm going to do the retreat that's the Frogwarts Year 4. So I'm hoping someday to get 2 and 3. I did get my fabric in for, sorry, the crinkles, for the Dark Queen of the Earth. And I'm going to do her on this one. It is, what is it called? It's Under the Sea Fabrics Nightshade. And I didn't do this in Opal. Why didn't I do this in Opal? But man, I love these greens and browns. It's real earthy, and I like that. I am super excited about this. And since I was on her site, I picked up a second fabric of hers called Beachwalk. So it's kind of a sandy with blue. This little sandy brown with some blues on it. So I'll have to pick something to stitch that on. I do Lugana mostly, so that's what both of these are. So yeah, I got those. So now I can start my Dark Queen of the Earth. Keep up with it just as much as I'm keeping up with the Dark Queen of the Sea, I'm sure. Which, as you guys can see, is not very well. I did order some patterns from 123 Stitch. I got... My dog is watching the TV. She does that all the time. It's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Okay, she's walking away. Anyway, I got the reindeer. The Cottage Garden Samplings, the reindeer. I love this. I have the fox. But yeah, I definitely wanted this one, so I picked this one up. And then I got the Bella Filipina Hummingbird Pixie. I just love the colors in that. They're so pretty. Of course, a lot of purple. I love the purple. And then I did pick up the Siren and the Shipwreck. It was one of the mermaids for Mira that I didn't have yet. And it seems like there's a lot more retiring in recent weeks. So I wanted to make sure and grab this before it left the world. And I picked up the rest of the deer that I needed. Not the rest of them because some were out of stock. But I got Vixen, and I got Rudolph, and Cupid, and Comet. So I think I just need 2 more, and then I'll have that whole set done. I also had to pick up some Gast. Oh, sweet. I was sitting here thinking, I'm starting the fox that's made by Cottage Garden Samplings, and I thought, man, I forgot to pick up burnt orange and chalk, but guess what? I got it. So, good, I can go put that with that. I got all the threads for One Nation, which is another start that I'm going to do, so that's ready. And then I did pick up some more of the Pinky Promises bags because, man, I love these. So I love this tree, and the front just has polka dots, little white polka dots with red hearts. But I love that. And then she had cardinals with some cardinals in here. It's just kind of wintry. And then I also picked up Harry Potter. And the inside on that one is this. I'm going to have to look to see who these were. I got a Ravenclaw one because I'm a Ravenclaw. And then, oh, does it? A lot of times they'll have it in here. They do. These two came from the same place. Be So Creative. And this was on Etsy. So those two are from the same place. And then these two. So I got sunflowers with the polka dots. I kind of wish this was flipped. I kind of wish the sunflowers were on the back and the polka dots were inside. This one is from Goose Design. And then also from them, I got these cute little reindeers. Do you see them? And then the inside is just polka dots. So, that's my haul. I also got a cone of 310 because I tell you what, I buy 310 and I buy 310 and it gets stuck in all my projects because everything uses 310. And so I got a cone of it. So I don't know if that'll make life better or worse. I'm just going to have to cut off some strands and stick them in each project or something. But so today's Friday the 17th and I'm feeling pretty good. So I'm going to set up my heating pad in the living room and make sure I stay on my anti-inflammatories. And I'm hoping to get some stitching done today. Finally, guys, it's been 2 weeks and I feel like it's been forever. So I'm going to kit up some things because like I said, I got these things in for my kits, and then I will have my, I'll have 1, 2, 3, I think 4 of my planned starts ready to go. I'm doing 12 new starts this year. I haven't done one yet. I figured I'd probably do one a month, but I kind of skipped January. So I'll have some that I can put some stitches in if they meet any of the prompts. I have to get on Facebook and on the Fandom Stitching Central and see what our prompts are this week, because I had no idea how I would feel this weekend if I even could look at it. So I have got to do that, but I'm really excited to get back to that. So we will see how that goes. So hopefully the next time I see you, I'll actually have some real stitching done. But like I said, we're going to work on finishing the floor in the craft room this weekend, so hopefully that'll be done. And maybe have some pictures of that to show you too. So anyway, thank you guys again so much for watching the video and liking and subscribing. I really appreciate it. I really get excited and keep my husband up to date on how many subscribers I have and how many views my videos got and all of that. So it's kind of exciting to see those numbers and stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna go get the dogs out and maybe get set up for some stitching a little bit later and see what all my work messages are about. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.